Hey guys! Let's see if this works. Hey guys, good morning. So it is 6 a.m. right now. I've actually been up since about 3:30 a.m. The little robot kept me up, but I also slept. I slept about 10 a.m. Little robot woke me up, and as a result of that, I just thought, well, I feel a little awake right now. Let me do what I'm normally doing, which is organizing. So sometimes I feel that I wake up, right? And I just go on YouTube and I lose track of time. And instead of, I can still go on YouTube, but make sure that I multitask, sort of thing. And I'm not perfect at that kind of stuff. This is really a new thing that I've been doing, but I do encourage you guys because most of the time, I'm not, I don't, I don't have any like moving background images too much. That if you guys are listening to my stream, do something, do a load of laundry, clean up around the apartment or your house, put things away, and walk around. You guys, like, I do change images, but it's not very often. Or yeah, just kind of casually look at stuff and then do something that you've been putting off. So, for instance, right, I woke up, I was listening to some YouTube videos, kind of like glancing at it, and I was repairing something that I've been putting off for, let's say, 3 months. It took me way too long to repair it, but I figured, like, oh, well, maybe it's taken me a long time because it's 3:30 in the morning, but I got it done, and I'm really freaking proud of myself. And I got to put it away. So progress moving forward is definitely better than no progress. And sometimes, right, like even just throwing a piece of paper away, like if it's on, you find it randomly on the ground, just pick it up and throw it away because I find that, let's say an apartment, right? Let's say an apartment has 1,000 things inside of it. If you get rid of one thing, that's 999. You get rid of one thing a day, that's 365 items a year. And it's just like you gotta just keep going down and down and down. So I've been working diligently on it, and I feel like, yeah, maybe I'm not moving as fast as I ideally should. But one thing that I've noticed is for people who declutter, you got people who can declutter a whole apartment in 3 days. You got people like on hoarders, right? In 1 week, they can remove like 1 or 2 tons of things. But then you also have 20, 30 people working on, and you have like huge dump trucks as well. So it's a coordinated effort. I think it's very important to take your time and have like a focused, concentrated effort on things because every time you declutter, this is what I've realized. Every time I declutter, it's like I make this decision and I'm like, do I want to keep it? Do I not want to keep it? Sometimes it's like I instantly know I want to get rid of it. Other times I'm like, let me give it a month. Okay, a month passes. Yeah, I didn't really use it. Yeah, I'm ready to let it go. And I find I like to surround myself with much higher quality stuff. So before, right, I used to grab anything that I thought was cute. Now, because I have this whole mentality of how I want this apartment to look like, which is basically sticking to the color scheme of like a light wood color or dark wood color plus a white plus a solid green or like natural materials like cork or pine cone or linen, cotton, that sort of thing. It's if I go with something, let's say like a Hello Kitty decor item, I will instantly pass on it because it doesn't fit the aesthetic that I want in this apartment. And frankly, I've been working too damn hard to really go backwards. So yeah, and another thing too is that before, right, I was grabbing things, giving it to people. I've realized that I'm bottlenecking at the moment, and it's just like after a while, like you remember the tablecloth thing. 2 days ago, a person says that they're going to swing by, and then I tell them, I'm trying to hammer down a time with them, and they tell me, oh, just suddenly, right? Oh, can I swing by now? And I reply to them within a couple minutes. No, I reply to them like 20 minutes later, my bad. 20, 30 minutes later. Oh, I'm not at home right now. I'll be home in 30 minutes. And then I tell them, oh, I'm home right now. They don't reply. Yesterday, I asked them, oh, yesterday, I think they said they wanted to swing by, and I said, what time are you going to be here? And I understood they were running errands, But yeah, I'm just like, dude, I can't be stopping my freaking life just to give you a freaking tablecloth for free. And yeah, because it's like I'm kind of like checking my messages. I'm like, I want to give them this tablecloth, but I'm always kind of on edge. I'm also on standby, and at this point, I really don't think it's worth it. So, um, with that being said, so the positions that we have in this apartment is going down, and what I've been doing is that I have been trying to get higher quality items. So, for instance, we've had two mismatched curtains by the by the opposite side of the apartment. So I like having these polyester curtains. Let me show you guys this one. Um, so one thing I've noticed is when you are decorating, you want to have cohesion. So if you have these like transparent looking curtains, oh my goodness, let me find it. Oh, sheer. That's what you call it. Sheer curtains. Sheer curtains. These I like them because this apartment doesn't have much low light, and I've actually bought three different kind of curtains, trying to figure out what would be good in this apartment. So one thing I've come to accept is most likely, since I'm not super talented, since I'm not like one of those professional interior designers where it's like I know exactly what curtain I'm gonna get. I know it's gonna be 1,000% perfect. I have to experiment, and I don't have like a repertoire of like stuff that I can just like grab and then put in like a storage unit, and I can get the perfect look. I'm not staging. So with with these curtains, um, the first curtain we got was some cheap $10 curtain. I think I bought like one of them because I wanted to see how it looked like. I got it from Family Dollar. I know people will be like, oh my gosh, Erica, really? So I bought Family Dollar curtains. No, first curtains that we had were these like silver bed sheet things that I don't know. Lewis had them up. They weren't even sewn. They were just like raw material, and they were hung up with safety pins of sorts. They were kind of wonky. But yeah, so I immediately took them down. I went to Family Dollar because it pissed me off. Bought some $10 curtains, looked at it, and I was like, man, this looks so crappy. This looks so cheap. Then I go out to Amazon and I buy some room darkening curtains. We've had them for about, how long do we have them for? We had them for about a year and a half. And then I was doing some research and I came across these sheer curtains. So I decided, right, I had one set up, and then I thought, oh, well, maybe the other, because we have one, two, three, four, five big windows, right? So the one closest to the bed, I had the sheer curtains up, but then the two that was farther down the wall, I put up the darker curtains. But because the sheer curtains and the darker curtains weren't the same kind of curtain, they were mismatched. So I realized too that the room darkening curtains were making this apartment, which doesn't have very much low light at all, look even darker. Recently, I changed out the curtains, and actually, well, yeah, recently I changed out the curtains, and I thought it was pretty good. So a couple days ago, I saw something in one of my free groups, and they gave away another set of curtains. Now, the curtain length in this apartment should be 84 inches. However, the thing is that we do have two air conditioning units. And if you have a sheer curtain with the air conditioning unit, you don't want the curtain to kind of be on, to kind of be in front of that air conditioner, right? So I thought like, okay, well this one, I think the one that I picked up was like 54 inches, and it looks a little wonky, I'm gonna be honest, but I figured once you put the AC on there, it's not gonna be blocking any of the vents. And the cats also jump around there too. So I noticed that with the curtains on the side of the apartment closest to where Lewis streams, right? So where we live in the studio is like a rectangle, right? We got the bed side of the apartment, and we got the part where the kitchen is. So where Lewis streams slash the kitchen area. That side where Lewis streams, the cats like to be at the windowsill. So because we were having typical curtains, when I was changing out the curtains, I realized there was so much freaking cat hair because every time the cats tried to jump behind the curtain rubs against their fur. So I thought, okay, yeah, this curtain is like a little shorter, right? Significantly shorter, but at least I don't have to worry about the cat hair constantly rubbing against the cats. We will see how this looks like, but Like I said, it's a little wonky, but I figure like I don't want to deal with freaking black cat hair rubbing against these sheer curtains. Maybe you guys will say it's laziness, maybe it is, probably is. But yeah, with the AC thing, I think it's not a bad idea. I can switch the curtains around if I wanted to. So, but yeah, I don't like it when the cats go up to the windowsill and you end up with a lot of black fur. Especially because it's a sheer curtain now. So, with that, right? It's like now I'm hyper focusing on certain things, and I want to make sure that the aesthetic of this apartment is on point. And it dawned on me that I also want to minimize. And one of the reasons why I want to minimize is like I think about a gallery or something, right? A gallery has high quality items and not the crappy galleries, but it's like a curated look. And I find that a lot of people they just like aimlessly accumulate stuff. And then it takes work to get rid of stuff, right? Some people they pay money for stuff and then they don't want to get rid of it because they say, oh, I spent a couple $100s on this, or oh, this is something that I've had for a long time. The best way to get rid of this stuff is just not to buy it at all, or just put yourself through the work of just finding things like to get a home, such as a tablecloth, right? Like that has just been kind of like a headache. And it's like that experience, even though it's been a pain in the ass, and even though I know some of you guys have been kind of, agitated about it, like, really, Erica? You're giving this person a freaking free tablecloth? I haven't even used it, too. It was one of those things like I thought, oh, well, maybe this place will look good with a tablecloth. I got it, and I was like, oh, never mind. So that's $25 out the window. But I gave it about a year. I gave it about a year, seeing if it would work in this apartment, and yeah, I absolutely disliked the cotton tablecloth. So I figured someone else would like it, and that experience has really made me consciously aware. Like, if I want to give things to people directly, it might be a real pain in the ass. So the best thing to do is just make sure that I limit things for sure. I know some people will say just drop it off at a donation, drop it off at Goodwill or Savers, but high chance that because they receive a whole bunch of stuff, my stuff will never reach a sales floor, and they might just toss it or throw it into ship it off to a third world country. And I rather keep things in the community. Um, I think people think about possessions, right? They accumulate over their life, and after a while, they have a whole bunch of stuff. And what happens when they pass away? Well, let's be real here. When a person passes away, the only thing that they can bring with them is the stuff that fits in the casket. This is not that much space. This is not enough space to throw all my plushies in here, for instance. And I understand, people would say, Erica, that's really morbid. You're 32 years old. You're at a healthy weight. You don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. Yes, but I have to be. There's this thing called I think it's called the Swedish death cleanse that I was reading about. And it's like making sure you declutter and you just make it easier for your relatives if you do pass away. Now, disclaimer, I want to live a long life. I want to live until I'm like 90 years old or so. I want to be mobile and I want to be able to walk around when I'm 90. I want to be sound of mind. I, I have every intention of living a really long life. But that means, assuming that, assuming that I live up to 90, I have 50 years to get down minimalism. And I've been working at it every day, right? So my hope is when I become an old woman, it inevitably will happen, right? If I'm blessed to live a very long life. When I get old, I want to declutter to the point where I become a pretty much extreme minimalism. All my valuables, I want it to fit into one large moving box. And I want my possessions that I do have, let's say a table or a chair, something that can be easily given away or resold. So it would be high quality stuff. Or it would be stuff that I take care of it and I know it would not go straight into the dumpster because I've been to many estate sales. And one thing about estate sales is you got some good stuff, but you also got some real crap. It's like people, they accumulate stuff, and I don't know if it's because people get intimidated by the sheer amount of stuff. Like, I mean, like, if I was going down, like, the regular consumerist ways,
and I'm 60 years old, like, do you know how much stuff I can accumulate between now and 60? A load of stuff. And then that's when you have to pay a professional organizer to get rid of things, or, declutter, or call 1-800-JUNK, or deal with, let's say, auctioning stuff. But, like, I think, like, what is the path of least resistance? To change my ways now? Or is it to continue the path that I was doing before? And I think that I'm going to just continue to declutter. I am going to be bringing in stuff. However, I want to bring in higher quality stuff, or things that I think I can actually use. Or if I do bring anything, I got to make sure I get rid of them right away. Have it in a free box, or go out and drop things off at a free store, for instance. So it is extra work for myself, right? Because one thing about my free box, and I've shared it with you guys, like, I put out a free box. I thought everything was going to be fine. There's some total jerks that just throw their water bottles in there, or they throw their coffee cup in there. It's like, dude, you got a trash can 3 feet away. You can put your trash in the trash can. Why are you putting it in a box that clearly says free? And you could see, like, women's clothing in there, or you can see, like, stuff that doesn't look like it's clearly garbage in there. But who knows what it is. So that's been making me a little apprehensive, because I'm keenly aware, like, let's say someone throws a drink in there, right? What do I do? Or what if it rains, right? I have to bring the clothes up, I have to rewash it, wait for it to dry, and then put it back down. And maybe it's going to happen again. So for 2 weeks in a row, I had someone toss in a water bottle and toss in a coffee cup in there. And it's not like I kept the box there for days. It's just being out for a couple hours. People are just so lazy in New York, or so much of a jerk, that they're like, oh, free box with free stuff, haha, throw my trash in there. Let's make someone's life miserable. So, I would encourage you guys to do the same thing. I don't want you guys to find yourself in that kind of situation. And if you guys are older, right, it's never too late to start. Just like with weight loss, or just like with self improvement, it can be intimidating. It can feel like, you're not really getting anywhere, but slowly but surely things add up, right? You get rid of one item a day, that's 7 items a week, or even none. Even if you get rid of one item a week, that's 52 items a year. However, to see sizable change, you really, depending on what you have or how much you have, you're probably better off getting rid of like 7 items a week. So 7 times 52. Let's do that. 7 times 52 is let's see, what is that calculator? Damn it. Oh, I'm doing it on Google Images. Where's this? It's 364. So 364 items if you do 7 items a week, right? And let's say I live for, I know 50 might sound, okay, let's not do 50. Let's say I do this for the next, let's see, 364 times 15, right? Do you really think I have 5,460 items in this apartment? Like, I really don't think I do. So, right? So, like, that kind of stuff, you realize, you're like, okay, Erica, maybe you want to get rid of 200 things. Even 200, I think, is really a stretch. But if I want to get rid of 200 things, and I do something like 5 items a week, that's 100 weeks or 2 years. So I really think that, time is really on my side, and I can definitely do it for sure. So I found out that, I told you guys about hige style. Let me show you guys this one. There's a style that I like. It's called hige. Hygge. So it's kind of cozy. However, Lewis doesn't like it because he thinks it's kind of, he just doesn't like the style. See? And then, although it looks cozy, some people can say it looks cluttered, right? Depending on how you see minimalism or so. And let me show you this. See that? I think it looks nice, but it does look a little cozy, cluttered kind of thing. And I'm trying to stray away from that because, like I said, right, I think about the end result. When I pass away, I don't want to have a hige kind of room and then find out all my stuff gets tossed out because they say, like, oh, she just has crap. So I found this thing called wabi sabi today, and it's a Japanese aesthetic. And what it is, it's a worldview centered around on the acceptance of transience and imperfection, which lines up, right? Because I do believe everybody is imperfect, and it's flawed to think, let's say, if you buy a bowl, right, you're never going to break the bowl, or you'll never have a chip on the bowl. If you guys have been following my stream, I picked up like a set of 5 vintage bowls, vintage glass bowls. About 2 weeks after I picked it up, I broke one bowl, and I was like, oh, for frick's sake, Erica, you can never replace this bowl. And yeah, so I have a set of 4 instead of a set of 5. So it came with one big bowl and then 4 little small bowls. And but yeah, it just sends the message that nothing is permanent. And remember, right? I can't get hung up about the freaking bowl, broken bowl, because if I pass away, I can only bring what I can in this freaking casket. So I'm not just thinking about I like when I put it that way, right? It's like I can't just be thinking about like, oh, just accumulate stuff because it makes me happy. I have to be mindful, like if anything happens to me, what is gonna I don't wanna like put pressure on my like an estate or something like that or my family. Because yeah, it's like the more stuff you have, the harder it is to get rid of things. And then sometimes it's like people feel overwhelmed with it. So you see these huge, large estate sales, they have to bring in a professional in there, and then they have to go through like loads of Tupperware. And, it's like a lot of the stuff just goes straight into the landfill. You have garage sale after garage sale after garage sale. And yeah, it turns into stuff that a person liked or maybe a person didn't want to face, because people tend to have too much stuff, right? Like compare what a person has in a first world country compared to a person who lives in a rickety shack in a third world country. Like I can only speak as an American. I don't need that much stuff. If a person can live basically with a freaking grocery cart, right? Then I could, if I wanted to, I could pare down that heavily as well. I would not want to pare down that heavily, but yeah, it's something like throwing away stuff, and this sounds really insensitive, but like throwing away stuff in what's equivalent of 3 big large boxes is so much easier than throwing away a whole apartment worth of stuff. And Lewis wants to also move, so now I'm thinking, okay, well, every day I'm going to work on decluttering and organizing and minimizing. It's not just organizing, I found out. You have to minimize, because it's like organizing is so much easier when you minimize instead of having to organize 30 items or so, right, lying around the house. It's like you pare it down. Oh, okay, maybe only do 20, maybe from the 20, right, maybe if you tone it down from 30 to 20, then from 20 you go down to 15, and maybe you can only stop at 12. But stopping at 12 is so much better than doing 30, right? Keeping the original 30. And let's say 2 months go by, and from the original 30, right, you went down to 12, and then in 2 months you're able to get it down to 10. Although it seems like it's a piss poor effort, like people might think like, oh, wow, you still have, and from the 30 items, you got it down to 12 and it took you 2 months to get down to 10. It's still effort. And I think it's very important that people don't discredit their effort, for sure. So I don't want anybody to just like be beating up themselves, like if they're trying to be better, and yeah, they just feel like they bottleneck. And right now, like I kind of feel like I'm bottlenecking. It's like I'm getting rid of stuff, but it's not as much stuff, because it's like after a while you're like, I don't want to get rid of my throw pillows. I don't want to get rid of this kind of stuff. And it's tough. So, but slowly but surely, right? The more I declutter, right, it'll be like, okay, I got rid of 1 item this week, 2 items this week, and yeah, minimizing will be easier. And I want to be one of those people who is like, oh, I cleaned up the whole place and I only had 3 items to give away. Right? Like that would be really like goals over here, because that tells me like every freaking item I went through, right? It's like I constantly am in a state, and that's where I see myself when I turn like 35 years old or so, right? Because I don't want to like put myself in this kind of pressure where I feel like I got to do everything within 10 days or 20 days. And I was like beating myself up because I was like, Erica, you don't know how to decorate this apartment. You've been spending like months on it. And it's like, I don't have that kind of mind where it's like I can map out like what I want to keep or what exactly do I want to put there. So it's been a constant state of trial and error. But every day, especially now, I've been hyper focusing on it because now it's like I see a path and it gets me excited. And then, yeah, I've also been like going back at loose ends and like working on little things. So, although it's not perfect, there is progress being made, slow progress for sure. And I see it kind of like a puzzle piece, right? Like a puzzle. You have like little puzzles, you have like little puzzle pieces, and then you just got to put it all together. So, for instance, right, I'm working on segments of the apartment and I'm kind of skipping around certain areas. But if I feel like I'm done with one area, then I'll move to another area. Then I'll move to another area. Then I'll move to another area. And yeah, so slow work in progress, but I'm confident that this will be good. And yeah, when do you sleep? I slept from 10 to about 3:30 a.m. today. And so that kind of stuff. So yeah, wabi sabi. It is. Let me show you guys this one. See. So the aesthetic is sometimes described as one appreciating beauty in something that's imperfect, impermanent, and incomplete in nature. So for this thing, they don't hyper focus on symmetry. Allegedly, I just started glimpsing into this, but look at this. See this kind of look? You got a lot of natural materials here, and there's a focus on quality over here. Each item, in my opinion, standing alone, it has beauty in it, and it's kind of like incorporating minimalism, but it's also like making sure that you have just like this harmonious, like kind of zen like balance. And it also incorporates the idea of reusing, right? I don't want to buy new things for decorating. I want to either rescue things, ideally, or I want to just find my own little treasures and use things that are see like something like this. So there's I think that's a really tall pampas leaf on the far left. But you can see, yeah, natural materials, natural woods. Every piece is kind of unique. It's kind of like a basket plus a kind of weirdly shaped stool over here. Plus on the far right, you got a nice, like kind of like a non-generic picture with these freaking two sticks. And then I don't know what the hell that sculpture thing is, but it looks pretty cool. And that gray kind of ties in. You can kind of see like on the right side, you see that vase with the concrete block with that little, I don't know, concrete seat. That's like in a group of three. And because it's all in the same color scheme, right? Gray, some shade of gray, it all works together. So this whole picture, when I look at it, it looks like you have a light gray. I think the wall is a light gray too. So you have shades of gray, plus you have natural like wood colors. You have like a light wood, which is shown in the wooden shelves, plus on the left side, right, you see that wooden color, but then you also have the dark wood, which is like the dining room table. So this is basically three shades of color. The light wood color plus the dark wood color plus the gray. And it all works because there's a sense of cohesion here. And then there's not too much stuff on the shelves. You can see that it's kind of grouped up. So you have enough negative space where it looks aesthetic. And each item on that shelf, it doesn't look like you bought it from Walmart. When I think about like these kind of places, I think like this is probably going to take me years to find and source these items, and that's something I don't really mind. I don't mind spending the next 30 years trying to find perfect pieces for a living area, and going to thrift stores or finding sidewalk finds or maybe buying it on eBay or garage sales, and just saying like, okay, maybe this is the piece that I want to keep with me till I'm really old. And in the event that I pass away, I don't think that, like, if I lived in a place that looked, that had the items inside of like this this image, for instance, if someone wanted to have a estate sale of my possessions, it would not be hard to let go, 100%. Because then there's going to be some person out there who says, oh man, I want to have that stool or I want to have that table. And that's what I want. I don't want to end up with a bunch of crap and then find out that decluttering an estate is going to be too much work. The person feels overwhelmed, because when a person passes away, it's not just you're mourning the loss of a person, but then if you feel the pressure to clear their possessions, the more possessions that they have, the more it kind of weighs on you. And I've said this before, right? The more possessions you have to declutter an estate sale, the more stress it causes on for family. And I really, really, really don't want that. So yeah, so I'm gonna like keep decluttering and things like that. And I don't think I'm ever gonna stop decluttering. I think that you're gonna start seeing slow but gradual changes about trying to upgrade items, and bringing in item, swapping things out. Okay, I don't like, I switched out the curtains. Okay, that means the old curtain can go, because we don't need the old curtains. And like shower curtain, for instance, right? Like if I upgraded the shower curtain, which I did, it's like I can say, okay, well, I'm gonna give away the old shower curtain, and someone will take it. And sure enough, they did. And I'm sure people feel really thankful getting free stuff. And for me, I feel happy because it's like, oh, okay, the item didn't go into the freaking landfill. And yeah, so every 3 months, I do have like a few options. Every 3 months, they had that really, really free market, so I'm going to be dropping off clothes there. There are also multiple free stores around New York, Brooklyn area, where I can drop off clothes. And yeah, so it's just, who knows, maybe I'll turn up where Saturdays, I wake up early, and this is ultimately what I want. I want to post things online or so, and then ask people, okay, does anybody want anything? Possibly, right? I don't know if I don't. I feel a little tired of doing that right now. But whatever people don't want, then I put in a free box. If it doesn't get taken in the free box, then I can drop it off at one of the free stores and see if someone takes it. That means every item that I have, there's 3 different opportunities for someone to take it, whether it be an online group or a free box or just me letting anybody in the community take it. I can't, or, right? And I also make sure that every 3 months or so I go to that like free, really, really free market thing. And I support, I definitely support donating items for free kind of thing. And if there's anything I want, like I think the time I went to the really, really free market, I dropped off a whole crap load of clothes. I picked up some things like extra pens. Yeah, extra pens. Just a few. We don't really need that much. And yeah, I brought home very few, very, very few items. So yeah, just donating stuff, and then yeah. So I mean, like that kind of stuff is like my hobby. I like doing it. And I like the idea of being surrounded by really pretty things and working towards a goal. I don't want to set myself up for unrealistic expectations, and I think for the longest time I was actually doing that. So yeah, it's very important for you guys. Like, please be kind to yourself. I know in my streams I've been really harsh on myself, and I know I have that tendency to do that way, to think that way, like, oh, I'm not a interior designer, so I don't have the eye for certain things. And I accept that. But at the end of it, right, I'm not giving up. I'm still working at it. I still hyper focus on it. And I find that it becomes a little easier. I don't get it all in one try. It might take me multiple attempts to do it right, but I'm happy with it. And then who knows, maybe a couple months later, I change things around and I'm like, hey, you know what? I like this too. But if I have less stuff, it's like, you see, it's like easier and easier and easier. I just need to give it natural time. So that's how I envision decorating for the rest of my life. I really, in my opinion, like I've really changed my aesthetic. I used to love really cute stuff, and like, don't get me wrong, like I still love anime figurines and such, but I just kind of think like, I don't, you know, it's like I really should pare my stuff down, because if anything happens to me, I don't want someone to be like, what do I do with 60 anime figurines? And I can just pare it down. Maybe when I go back to Hawaii, go it down from 60 to 40 or 30 or 20 or 10. And that means like if I get rid of 50 of them, right? I'll probably be reselling them. If I get rid of 50 of them, that means there's 50 people who have different figurines, and they're probably happy getting the figurines. And for me, I just have to store 10, and that's so much easier. But yeah, decluttering, I would say if people think like they declutter once and that's it, they're really setting themselves up for failure. You can't think of just a short term thing. You have to really think about the long term game. And the long term game is like the most sustainable way to do stuff is treat it like a diet. Like I'm always about the whole moderation diet, right? So as long as you're okay like 80% of the time, right? If you have like a 20% of the time you kind of like mess up, it's like, okay, well, 80% of it's under control. Work on the 20% and just, make sure maybe not 80/20, but maybe 90% of the time you say no to an item, 10% of the time maybe you'll buy something or so. Um, but yeah, so just giving it time, I'm gonna get to my goal, and yeah, I can already see changes, and I'm kind of like, wow. So yeah, whatever you guys have your goals in life, just never give up on yourself. Just always kind of think like, yeah, I might not be perfect, but just like that wabi sabi, right? There's beauty in imperfection, and yeah, we only got really one life to live, so we might as well just live it the way we want to live it. And we can't. I think it's really flawed if we just spend too much of that time beating ourselves up about things. See? Okay, this is a little gray, but let's see. What do I think is pretty? That doesn't look like it's a multi-million-dollar home. So look at this. So this is I think it's called kiri or something like that. Kiri, I forgot what the word is. Kintsugi, that was it. Kitsugi. So this is the whole thinking where if something breaks, like a cup or a bowl, it shatters. You can get it fixed, and they put in gold in there. So although it's broken, the imperfection makes it beautiful because you got gold inside of there. See that? So if it didn't have if it didn't have the broken pieces, it would just be a regular bowl. But because it's repaired, it has this beautiful gold streak in it. And life is like that, right? People, well, I'd say 99% of the people out in the world, they go through difficulties in life, and it's like we go through events that traumatize us or hurt us or scar us, but at the end of it we're kind of like steel. We're like a steel blade. We just get forged in fire, and you get harder and things like that, and you just get more stronger. Or yeah, like a diamond, right? I think they say, what was it, carbon under pressure becomes a diamond. So I think diamonds are really beautiful because it's like human beings, we're put in stressful situations, or we put the stressful situations upon ourselves, but we have the chance to become something really beautiful. We just need to see the process and see the beauty, see the beauty of like, okay, if you fail, like, yeah, you make this, you have this learning experience, and you get up and you're like, okay, well, I won't do that again. Or if I do that again, you just got to have resilience, kind of like bamboo. Bamboo is very flexible, very strong, and very flexible. See, wabi sabi, learning the ancient Japanese art of imperfections and thoughtfulness and peacefulness, conceptual art and minimalism. So these two things go hand in hand. I feel like, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but I feel like I kind of get the idea of this, because it's like I just see these freaking same kind of colors. And yeah, I'm not perfect at this thing, but like, see, this is all natural materials: wood, ceramic, pottery, freaking sticks over here. Yeah. See? stone. Okay, I'm not a real big fan of this one. Some people might like it, but I think something. Mm, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. Oh my goodness, I look at these plants and I just think of no-see-ums. I'm like, no, no, no. But see, so this is not a good example here, but you can see that like you got this big square coffee table and it's kind of unique looking. Like you don't see this kind of square table at Walmart. And then you have this like vintage looking catch-all decorative tray and yeah, you got a bare couch. I like my throw pillows though. That's the only thing. So um, but this couch, because of the shape, it actually looks better without throw pillows in my opinion. See? And I see these kind of like handmade pottery. I think there's something really beautiful about it because if you deal with handmade pottery, like someone spent a portion of their life forging this kind of stuff, right? They painted it, hand painted it. It's really like a decorative piece of art. So I really like handmade pottery. It's hard to find though. It's hard to find. I had a I know someone who did pottery, and allegedly, if you do pottery, your hands can look really aged because of it. You know, all the clay and stuff just kind of beating onto your hands. It can make a hand look very withered. I would, you know what? I like the idea of pottery, but I would not do pottery myself because yeah, I don't have space to put all pottery all over the place. It's better if I just go to an estate sale and I buy stuff. So yeah, you see this? See how it's the two little vases over here? And then you got the little sticks. I think it's curvy willow, but it might be wrong. And then look at the table here. This is some sort of driftwood kind of table of sorts. And yeah, it's all about this kind of like weird, uniquely kind of artisanal, kind of expensive looking stuff. See this? Look at this bowl. It's made out of stone. See that? That looks unique, does it not? I don't know what I would do with that bowl, but it looks cool. Oh, see here. See this? See how it's like a solid white. I've seen this couch before. But yeah, see all those kind of calming color things. I think the chairs are vintage, but I might be wrong. But it's really nice. It's really soothing. Let's find something here. Yeah, so now I'm liking the idea of having driftwood. I think having driftwood in this apartment would look really cool. Like some kind of driftwood sculptures or maybe just a piece of driftwood. See the pottery? See the planter or so? That's curvy willow if I remember correctly, the little curvy willow branches. One thing you'll notice about some of these decorative things, they use the same freaking thing over and over and over and over. So, yeah, but what looks expensive is not just the curvy willow, which seems to be kind of unique. You don't see that in a lot of places. But also the planter. The planter looks handmade and it signifies that it's valuable. So, and there's just something very peaceful looking about it. Very, um, I don't want to say, yeah, handmade, but it looks very artisanal, like in a um, natural way. So something like that, like if I had it and if I passed away, I would not be worried about not finding a home for that willow and that planter. Someone else would take it for sure. See, so you got a tree trunk over there. I think that's kind of cool, getting a tree trunk. Um, Tree trunk and using that as a table. But I mean, how freaking heavy would that tree trunk be? Tons and tons of weight. See, so natural pottery over here with some kind of weathered looking table. See? By the way, I have never seen like kind of this like stone cement kind of pottery. I've never seen that on the sidewalks. I've never seen people give it away. And if I did see it, this kind of cement looking porcelain stone kind of vase, someone would easily snap it up. Like, this stuff is coveted. And yeah, so it just looks really nice. Our vases over here, our vases are just mostly glass. They're much cheaper because our vases over here were free. Let's see here. So let's see, cement vase. I think it's concrete vase. I'm not good with my wording too much with certain things. Okay, here we go. See. So you look at this stuff, right? You see the details here. You see the little lines here, and then this one as well. So if you want to get anything that looks expensive, in my opinion, go with these kind of ceramic slash concrete looking gray vases, like these withered stone. See this? All of this stuff looks expensive, and it is kind of expensive. You're looking at $50 a vase, but yeah, this is stuff that I would like to have in the future. And oh, look at that lava stone vase. That's cool. But it's so hard. It's so hard to find this kind of stuff, at least for free. But I've been to Goodwills and I don't see this stuff either. So the reality of the situation is unless I put a concentrated effort to find these vases and perhaps pay New York markup. Oh my goodness, Jamali sells this square cement vase for only $8. Oh. So yeah, so Jamali's a famous place in New York. That's cheap. Freaking $8 for that is cheap. But yeah, most likely I'm gonna have to buy these kind of things new because it might just take, it might be too hard to find it used. Look at the cement bases. See? This one looks nice. It's a Walmart base. I don't know how it looks like in person, but it looks kind of cool. Yeah, see, so there's something definitely earthy when you do this kind of stoneware looking vase. It's more elevated. See? Doesn't that look nice? I think it looks really pretty. And it's so timeless too. Like, I feel like it wouldn't, like, there's just something so, like, you know, these kind of ferns. I don't know if this is a real fern. I want to say it's a fake fern, but I could be completely wrong. But like greenery, solid greenery, like this and like eucalyptus leaves, these things are freaking cheap. It's like $4 for a bundle if you buy it from Trader Joe's. Yeah, it's more like $4 or $5 actually. And they last for weeks and they dry incredibly well. Not the ferns, but eucalyptus leaves dry really well. So you can use them for like a week or two, and then hang them up upside down for 4 weeks, and then probably keep them around for the next 6 months. So it's really cheap, eco-friendly decor. Yeah, so doing these cement bases. Amazon sells this stuff too. But yeah, my only concern is since I don't have the eye, if I buy this stuff locally, I would go into a cycle of returning and stuff, right? Buy the stuff, bring it home. Oh, it's too tall. Oh, it's too short. Never mind. I gotta go back and return it. So that's what makes me a little apprehensive of buying certain things. See that? That's kind of nice. See, you can, not only is it like a cement color, right? You can see the little holes in there, and that's like little details. This plant is called, listen to this, it's called, like cat, the cat for the P, like kitty cat, but there's a word of, let me just say, it's called pussy willow. So that's what it's called, this plant, if I remember correctly. Let's see. See? Once you hear this name, you don't forget it. So sometimes like the higher end places, they'll have like a whole bunch of these in a vase, and it just looks really pretty. We don't have any of these, but see, they make a statement. So if you have a floor vase or something, it can look really pretty. But I like really tall ones. So yeah, if you have a whole stack of them, these are fake, I believe. Are they fake? They look like they're fake. Maybe I'm wrong. No, they're fake. Yeah, these are definitely fake. You can tell because if you look over here, these look a little too spherical. Yeah, real touch flower arrangement. Yeah, they're not real. So this arrangement costs $369. So, but you can buy, you know, if you go to a craft store like Michael's, they have some pretty good floral, and you can arrange it yourself. I don't know how to do the fake water. I think that's some kind of resin, but I might be wrong. But yeah, see something like this stuff lasts forever. But it's so important making sure you have really good fake floral, because if it looks really cheap, it just ruins the whole image. See? Like when I saw this, I thought this looks too symmetrical. It looked like styrofoam balls, and it could be styrofoam balls on here. And I say this as a person who has a floor arrangement with styrofoam balls. That's why it reminds me of that. So yeah, I don't know how good these pussy willows dry. I think they dry really well. I think I've seen them dried. Pretty damn sure I've seen them dried, but I might be wrong. Let's see. Oh yeah, see they do dry. I don't know how long they last though. So maybe just buy the real ones rather than the fake ones. Who knows? But yeah, this arrangement for pussy willows, in my opinion, we could work it into this apartment, but I would really need to have a cement base to make it look nice. But we have so many arrangements in this apartment. Really not necessary to have one of these arrangements. Okay, you guys. So I just wanted to share this with you guys, and I know that this has turned into a freaking long ass stream, but again, um, it's just stuff that I realized, and I thought, I'll share with you guys. Maybe you guys have ooh, let's see. I think my P word made it. YouTube was like, yeah, we're only gonna do partial monetization. Okay, I'll get like 15 cents instead of 25 cents. But yeah, things like that. Things like that. It's just like, it. You really, like I said, you really should surround yourself with quality items. It's tempting to just buy some cheap stuff, but I figure like a lot of people, you want to live in a home that you consider to be beautiful, right? And if you have just a whole bunch of crap that doesn't make it look like, and I know people are going to give me crap about this, but like think about like a hotel, right? Think about a hotel. I want to say a luxury hotel, right? Okay, maybe not. But like think about a hotel like this, right? Some people will like this look, other people don't, right? But what stands out about a hotel room? What stands out is that you have a nice balance, you have cohesive colors, and you don't have anything that clashes. So this hotel room, for instance, has gray chairs, a white sheets. Look at the pillow over here on the bed. It's gray and white. The lamp is gray and white. I think it's either gray or white or charcoal and white. The nightstand looks like it's a shade of brown or gray, I can't tell. The couch is like a tan color, which matches with similar color scheme with the curtains in the wall. And then the outdoor dining, the outdoor lanai furniture is all like this, like the same color, dark wood, and the cushions are gray. So, and the little decorative plates or gongs, whatever those things are on the ceiling, on the wall on the right hand side, that kind of fits all in the color scheme, right? So see the gold, kind of similar to the curtains, kind of similar to that, I don't know, flower decor on the wall, that yellowy thing, that orangey thing, or the yellow wall on the tan wall. I can't tell really what color that is. It looks like a dark yellow, but maybe it's a gold. But yeah, you can see that they don't put anything in there that clashes. So there's no freaking red, there's no freaking there's no polka dots or anything like that. And like even like this, you see, everything flows together. There's only 3 different colors here. It's that like wooden, light wooden bamboo-ish color with the white bed, and then you also have a pop of silver right in front of that lounge area. But other than that, everything freaking matches. You see, it's really all about cohesion. And once you have cohesion, the place looks much more stylish just because you've done a very regimented kind of look. See? So over here, right, you got tan, white bed sheets. The floor is tan too. The table's tan. The chair legs are tan, so the chair legs match with the table because they're both the same kind of similar shade of wood. The 2 pillows on the bed, it's a shade of blue, right? You got blue plus you got that green. And then what is the color of the chair? Also like a blue-green, kind of like turquoise, like dark turquoise color. So all the colors kind of complement each other. And I know there's some color theory thing, but I never looked into that. Like I can't understand color theory, but maybe I haven't tried hard enough. So yeah, see, like this. There's no clashing colors. White, black, right? What do you get when you put white and black together? You get gray. And look, you got gray and white rug and gray couch, and the pillows are shades of gray, and yeah. So I know I'm repeating myself, but what I'm trying to get at is you got to be focused about your aesthetics. And if you're not focused, that's why it looks kind of crazy. So if you have discipline and you pare things down and you stick with a game plan, you'll end up with a naturally stylish place. And yeah, look at the pillows. Look on the bed, right? You got two black pillows, 2 gray or black pillows. I can't tell exactly what color that is, but there's 2, so there's symmetry over there, and then that ties in with the freaking bed. I don't know, bed. It looks like a table runner on the bed. I don't know what that is. Bed runner. On the bottom, so that ties in, and then it doesn't. It's not too. It also the same colors on the freaking rug. So yeah, gray and white, and then similar color schemes. So it's all about like freaking charting things out and planning things out and just kind of saying like, oh, okay, well, if I have like a dark wood plus black plus gray and white, you're not going, it's going to be a safe bet. And that's exactly how our mantelpiece looks like right now. So yeah, I didn't realize that until I looked at it. I was like, yeah, our mantelpiece has 2 candles, plus the chimney thing is kind of like a dark chocolate, grayish brown thing, and then the top where the candles on black, where the candle's sitting is on black, and then of course the pine cones are the kind of like a grayish dark brown, and then the bowl, the thing is in gray. So yeah, no red bricks. Yeah, no red bricks. Say no to red bricks. And yeah, so this is the kind of stuff that I like. I really like that that wabi sabi thing. It's kind of cute. Like wabi sabi, doesn't it sound kind of cute? Wabi sabi. I was talking to Lewis. So this is my kind of decorating style that I like. So it falls in line with minimalism, making sure you have curated, artisanal looking stuff, and it looks handmade. It looks like this. See? So I think this is pretty. But I was talking to Lewis, and Lewis likes this is his kind of aesthetic. So he likes he likes log cabins, and I told him, I said, I don't know how to freaking decorate a log cabin for the life of me. So he likes log cabins, and yeah, this is his kind of like one of his dream homes. I'm like, oh, I don't want to live in a freaking log cabin. um, yeah, like this is just too much freaking wood. Sorry if anybody really loves log cabins, but I'm just like, could you have changed out the materials a little? Do you like this? I think it's like termite galore. So yeah, he likes wood like interiors like this. See that? Oh my gosh. If you guys are thinking like, man, Erica, this kind of reminds me of the red brick wall. Well, he also likes red brick houses. So red. So he likes either red brick or he likes log cabin. Oh my gosh. See this? Like this. I don't know why he likes red brick. Like this sort of thing. Or this. Okay, this is yeah, like this kind of thing. I don't know. It's just the problem with this kind of thing, and this is just my opinion, similar to the red brick thing, it's like you don't really have much style choices here because, like, for instance, right? This place looks really busy because you got all the knots in the wood, and some people will say this is really beautiful, but my thinking is, it's like, how do you decorate a place like this? You can't really do a lot of decorating styles because it just clashes. Um, because of the background, right? So that's why a lot of these places they have like a light color neutral sort of solid wall. Like in this case it's a gray, or you have a white wall because it's very it's very peaceful. It's very forgiving. So if you want to change your look and let's say you say, you know what, screw it. I don't want to do wabi sabi. See this? Like I think this is pretty. Um, but if you don't want to do this kind of look, like you can just take out the decor and change it up. But if you do something like a log cabin, like you're kind of limited by what you can do, or like a red brick, right? Your decor style, like doing wabi sabi in a freaking red brick, is not gonna look very good, in my opinion. That's just the way I see it because I think the red brick looks very, very distracting. See all this? This is all like all this pattern is very busy. So it's not like a clean slate like this wall. You see? So you have to work with the brick versus you work with like a blank slate and you can change it up as ever you want. So log cabin, all the knots in the wood, busy. Red brick, busy. So yeah, this not busy. So I've shared it with you guys that if Lewis moves to a new place, I probably am not going to be decorating it just because it's like I think that if I do a log if he moves into a log cabin or a red brick, I would be doing like a faux pas because the place would clash against the design aesthetics that I'm naturally leaning towards. So yeah, see that? So red brick like this. See, I can't do this in here. It's not gonna work. It's gonna look very stressful. Like I think the reason why I hate red brick so much is I think it looks very, very cluttered and very distracting, and it looks very like cold. You know, it doesn't have that warm, calming feeling. Like if you're on a red brick wall, the color itself has a lot of power to it, and it's not like a calming power. It's like if you're feeling depressed and you're in front of a red brick wall, you'll feel more depressed versus this one I find like it's a regenerative soothing kind of feel, so it's two different kind of feels. So that's the reason why like the more I look into this stuff I'm like, yeah, no wonder why I don't like the red brick. It's just it doesn't feel warm and comforting. It feels like it's just so cluttered and you're just looking at the wall. See, like look at this picture. You got two trees, of course, just symmetry, and then you got the two things over here. But even though there's nothing else except the freaking the trees and the bushes, right? It looks busy. It looks too cluttered already. See where I'm getting at? Like it's because the freaking background, the brick, is just like tons and tons and um, tons of visual clutter, and it's just there. So it's very easy for a place to look chaotic if you have stuff in there with a red brick. So I personally would never recommend anybody getting red brick. Um, and I would say that if you want to go wood, be wary about having too much knots in the wood. Because the more knots you have in the wood, the more visual clutter it is because you're looking at the knots of the wood. See? See all the when I mean knots in the wood, you see the little black marks on the wood? Some people really like the log cabin look. I personally rather just go with that. But it's a different kind of aesthetic. So yeah, see something like this, I think it looks nice. It looks kind of it looks soothing, but I think this looks a little depressing. So open colors like white ceiling. Here's the thing: if you have like the ceiling match the color of the wall, the same exact shade, it makes the place look bigger, and I like that. I like that a lot. I like the place. See, like this one, you can see it has different colors. So the walls are darker shade than the ceiling, and this one it appears to be the same color. Same as this one, right? Ceiling appears to be the same color as the walls. And it's this light, airy feeling. You also have the sheer curtains over here. So this room, I think it's very pretty. I think it was very well done as well. It looks comforting. It looks like you could just sit down and read a book, and yeah, just like the pieces themselves individually, they look very beautiful. And the color scheme is together, right? You got the gold from the lamp with the gold on the table, and then I think the console over here, I don't know if that's a console, you see on the far right underneath that weird looking decorative thing, that is looks like the front face is gold too. So you have that tie in, and then you've got shades of gray over here, maybe a black, I don't know what color couch that is exactly, black or charcoal gray. And then the sheer curtains match with the ceiling and the walls, and that just gives it like a very pulled together look. And that's because everything flows, right? But a log cabin, I don't know how to make this flow. I really genuinely don't know how to work a log cabin when decorating. And a red brick, I don't know how to decorate that either. See. So a red brick house, something like this, it just like I feel like this place is staged, but it already looks so busy because of the freaking wall. You see where I'm getting at? This is a staged house, so you know nobody lives in here, but because of the wall, it just looks like it's cluttered. See, even like this, I think the place looks cluttered. It looks really small and it looks really cluttered because of the brick wall. Same as this. See, I blame the brick wall for this. So if instead of having a brick wall, if instead it was a white wall, it would have looked so much nicer in my opinion. Because it would have looked more cleaner. Same as this, see? You can see they tried to, you can see the different brick. But yeah, this has to be, you see, I think it just looks too busy, the brick. I personally don't like it. And this one looks nice-ish. But look at this brick. Actually, you know what this reminds me? This reminds me of a public restroom brick. I don't know if it's just me, but yeah, this is clearly a very staged home. See that giant square over there? But it's very minimalistic, right? So if you have a lot of stuff, or if you have a normal amount of stuff like this looks like it's cluttered. And it's just because of the brick. See where I'm getting at? And then you also have a pattern inside of the cabinet. See that wooden cabinet? That has a pattern, and in my opinion, that clashes against the brick wall. And then you also have a pattern-ish kind of thing on the picture. So you got pattern, pattern, pattern. See? And then the rug has a pattern too. And then you got polka dots. So you got polka dots as the throw pillow, and then you got some kind of pattern rug, pattern cabinet, pattern kind of picture frame. Oh my gosh, this looks like an eyesore in my opinion. See that? That looks so cluttered. And all it did, it had a brick wall. So yeah, I don't trust myself decorating against a brick wall. Let's put it that way. So this looks fucking depressing. In my opinion, this looks really freaking depressing. It's like black against a brick wall. And the chairs look so, oh my gosh, it looks terrible. See? See this? This is what happens. See how you have all the prints here? This is something like, this is the kind of stuff that I realized when I was experimenting with this apartment. If you have a pattern of prints against the brick wall, it looks terrible. It looks so bad. So you don't have that much freedom when it comes to design with a red brick wall. See the pattern on the cushion? See the blue little organizing rack? It clashes with the brick wall. Like, which place looks better, the left or the right? In my opinion, the side on the left looks better than the right because the brick wall just makes it look very busy and it's very like dark and gloomy. And this is a professionally staged picture too. And just see, and then this is what happens if you, okay, here you go. So you have a brick wall, and let's say you live in a regular family, right? So you have toys and knickknacks and stuff. See all the knickknacks on this wall? This makes you look like a total hoarder. Like, let's be real here. Because it's just like you got busy print, busy brick on top of a busy mantelpiece. And then you got pictures and little knickknacks and picture frames. This stuff looks terrible. Like, I understand maybe the person tried to organize, but because you have so much stuff in front of a brick wall, it makes it look really bad. So you cannot live like a normal person with a brick wall, because then it's going to look really terrible. You gotta declutter. This brick wall looks better because it's not red. It's a white. Oh, here we go. See, like this? Look at this couch and the chair in front of the brick wall. Oh my gosh, this looks like depression. You can see that they even tried to do a checker print in front of the brick wall. So as a result of that, right, you got two different kind of like checkered square prints going on. Four pieces of checkered print because you got the small pillow plus the throw plus the two pillows, two matchy. This looks terrible, absolutely terrible. Like I know I'm repeating myself, but seriously, you guys, like, don't get brick. Don't move into a place with brick, unless it's a nicer brick. See, I don't even like this brick. I don't feel calm in red brick. Yeah. So, like, this looks okay. But even then, your style choices are so limited with because you got to work on the freaking brick. Okay, here we go. See this? So you can see this person try to decorate, but this place looks so claustrophobic. It looks like, yeah, it looks like all like crap because although some of the pieces are pretty, together with that brick wall, it just looks terrible. Um, I think if it was a white, actually, you know what? I don't like the red chair. The red chair looks terrible in my opinion, but I just think you got too much different styles going on in this image that it looks insane. It looks too busy. I feel claustrophobic looking at that. Here's another red brick. All the pictures on the wall looks like clutter because the red brick is so busy. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later. And I hope that maybe you guys pick something up from the stream, or you guys move forward for sure and avoid red brick. Um, but yeah, maybe I'll take a little short nap or so. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys the stuff that I've realized or the stuff that has just been kind of on my mind when it comes to decorating. But it makes sense to me. It really does make sense. We really should stop with so much buying so much stuff and then just insist that the stuff that we do bring inside of where we live, it's stuff that complements, that stuff that brings us to a closer image or a closer aesthetic image of what we want to live in. And in my opinion, the aesthetic that I rather go for something like this, curated, timeless, and if I passed away, it would be very easy to rehome a lot of this stuff, the furniture pieces, right? Because people will look at it and be like, "Dang, it looks curated." So that is the look I'm looking for: curated, tailored, and it doesn't. Oh, look at this imperfect residence. Okay, I'm not a big fan of this one. I want to say this is a dream couch, or cloud couch, but I might be remembering it wrong. I've seen this cloud couch design before. Okay, I'm not a big fan of this. Actually, no, I don't like this one. This looks terrible. I'm not a big fan of that aesthetic either. This one doesn't look bad, but this looks terrible. Like, what the hell is this? Like, I'm all for minimalism, but this looks so stupid having this freaking thing that it looks like a big microphone right next to the bed. Like, I'm afraid if you walk off the side of the bed, you hit your head on the lamps. Oh yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. I shall see you.